stop fighting is the day you will lose it. That dream is not gonna wait and say take a breather. It's gonna say come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Sepang International Circuit. My name is Ash. I'll be your host for today on the grid. By the way, thank you, Jeevan. And right now, as you can see, all the cars are rolling out. And when we come back, we will be on the starting grid with the drivers. But before that, as you can see, the weather is very, very, indecisible. It's going to be different. It's going to be a semi-wet race today, so we shall wait and see what's going to happen for race 1 of the round 2 of the Malaysia Championship Series right in Sepang Circuit. Okay bang, okay. All right, race fans, we're back at the starting grid, and in the second place with me is car number 45, and none other than the driver, Kifli Othman from the City Fast Racing Team. Kifli, so we're seeing you in a different car for round 2, so how's it going to look like for you?
As far as for now, it's looking good, but the car needs a little bit more twitching because I just got hold of this car last week, so not enough track time. But all good for now.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, all the best to you for the race. All right, back to you, Jivan. And with me is car number 50, Akid Asli, also from the City Fast Racing Team, driving solo. Akid, so how's it going to be like for you for round 2 this time for race 1?
So for this round, I will be driver alone, and it's hope all do the best. The car is the car power is maintained, and also the pit stop is okay, all right. Then I will manage to finish the race. Yeah.
Okay. All the best to you, Akid Asli. Back to you, Jivan. All right, once again, thank you, Jivan. All right, back to the starting grid. And with me in position number 1, car number 11, Mark Darwin, City Fast Racing Team. Mark, well, it wasn't a good race for you for round 1.
Yeah.
So how's it going to be for you for round 2 this time?
Yeah, for round 1, I was sharing car with Akid, my teammate. So this round, we decided to have more cars. So I'm driving a separate car compared to Akid. And this is totally a different car from what I usually drive from last year. So it's a brand new car, brand new start. So hope so, our stars align throughout the race.
How's it having all 3 drivers in one team together with you?
I mean, it's a dream result for qualifying because we get 1, 2, 3 in the team. I think the team got to be really proud for the achievement. Let's see for the race. Hope so we have a trouble-free race and hope so that we finish top 3.
All right. All the best to you, Mark. All right, back to you, Jivan.
Leonichin, I'm sure, is going to fight back tomorrow at 4 p.m. and for the rest of the season, because she is one of the most determined people. Also one of the nicest people, I have to say. I've interviewed her a great many times, spoken to her a great many times. Great attitude towards driving, and really nothing but admiration for her. So Mark Darwin is now through. That is Mark's car. As bright as his headlights as a driver into turn one, no problems for him. 7.8 seconds ahead of Keithley. That's just past start line. Fast as Keithley is, I don't think he's going to catch Mark Darwin, who will be on his way, don't forget, to his first 15 points of the season. A double DNF. Very unfortunate for him in race one and race two of round one. 17 laps completed, as you can see, from our first 4 competitors anyway. Everyone else is on 16. Now we're just waiting for Akid Azli to cross the line as we look at Keithley Hoffmann coming through turn 5. Akid Azli now very late to get past the start line and is now dropping down the order. So we're going to have to look out for that number 50 City car, because it's definitely, oh well, he has passed it now. He has come through. So he is still clocked in his 6th. No idea why he's lost about 15 seconds on that lap. There are variances and there are margins that you'd expect cars to lose based on track conditions or track position especially. But 12 seconds seems like quite a lot. Rain, as you can see now, getting heavier and heavier with 7 minutes left to go. These guys should be able to see through this race one. For everyone in the grandstands right now, do get under the covers. And it is really what the Sabang International Circuit is all about this year. 20 years on, and a couple of refurbishments and upgrades have already been not just tabled, but are undergoing and underway. So hopefully within the next couple of months, we'll be able to show you those on these screens. But of course, they will be all ready for the MotoGP and the EWC finals at the latter half of the year, right at the end of the year actually. And S1K, of course, the Sepang 1000 kilometers. It's also going to need the lights. The lights were the first ones up there so they could enable races like this. And they do work a treat. But this, as I said, midway through this race, by far the most challenging conditions for the MCS drivers to race in. Hasn't stopped Mark Darwin from, well, Mark is slowed down by a second. He's clocking 229s. Keithley's now clocking 232s. Both were clocking 228s before the rain came in. Everybody else, of course, is drastically slowed down. In fact, Keithley has now dropped another 3 seconds. So Mark 10 seconds ahead, as you can see there, ahead of second spot. His teammate. And Keithley 7 seconds ahead of Jonathan Z, who is a further 3 seconds ahead of Lai Wei Sing. So I'm not expecting much to change in the touring production class. In SB1, well, that is a different championship, and it still could be a charge from Masahiko Ida and R-Works. They're only 2 seconds behind Brendan Paul right now. In MTC, well, it actually looks like a very close run between Farik or Shafiq Ali, Mitchell Chia and Leona Chin. But Shafiq Ali is lapping a full second faster than Mitchell and Leona, so you should expect him to keep that MTC. And in SB2, well, it is a 5-second lead for Chong Kiat Wai and Adi Rahimi, or ahead of Adi Rahimi Rashid. I can't see that being pulled up unless something really unfortunate happens to Chong Kiat Wai. Coming through turn 15, that's Hafiz Bachok. Still having a fight with Mohammed Hayden. Don't forget, that is an ST Wangan Racing Team car as well. Mohammed Hayden is part of ST Wangan. They've been having that fight for a good few laps now, but Hafiz has come out on top. And once again, that's should be Ahmed Tamimi. And just behind them, that looks as the lightning strikes. Now this must mean that that storm, a very wide line there taken from wow, have a look at that. Rain really coming down now. We're all very lucky that it's come down with just 4 minutes left. But let's hope that none of these pools of water or moisture. The problem is with the heavy rain that comes down. In 2016, most of SIC was resurfaced for greater drainage, especially, but sometimes the rain is so heavy that it does lead to pools of moisture on the inside or outside of racing lines. And if you're pushed off that line because you're in a fight, then it can be very significant indeed. So 3 minutes left means that each of these guys probably going to be clocking in maybe 1.5 laps. 1 hour plus leader, so Mark Darwin, wherever that time runs out. We've just also got the disciplinary action from race control for car number 83. 30-second time added penalty for a pit lane infringement. So 30-second added to your finishing time, that's essentially going to put you out of the running. That's a very serious disciplinary action because that number 83 car is leading MTC, which means that Leona Chin might just get second spot and still be in charge of the MTC Championship, because if they have 30 seconds added, Farik Haruman is currently about about 11 seconds ahead of, 1 second ahead of his teammate and about 11 seconds ahead of Leona Chin. Add 30 seconds on top and, well, Mitchell Chia wins. Leona Chin comes second and Shafiq Ali comes third. So that a very, very significant decision by race control for a pit lane infringement. It could have been anything. It could have literally been endangering another team, driving too fast. It's 80 kilometers an hour in the pit lane, not 1 kilometer more. And that's a pretty harsh. It means it did happen. There are stop and go penalties, obviously, but this is a straight time added, which means it's not going to be a win for that Proton R3 car, but it is going to be a win, by the looks of it, for the second car. Leona Chin, I'm sure, will be happy with this first race to pull out 12 points if she finishes second. Well, that's an MTC car out in the gravel. It looks like the moisture is finally taking its toll. And that's deep in there as well. And that is Chin Hua Lip. So, one of the podium finishers from round 1 is not getting out of that gravel trap before the end of this race. The rain absolutely bucketing it down now. Mark Darwin's dropped his time by another 2 seconds. He's now lapping at 2:31 as well. But he just has to get round 4 more corners. They're on wet tires now. Thankfully, everyone saw the rainstorm coming, but it's really going to get heavy after this, I would have thought. Now, looking at the overview, it's just been a great race from the City Fast Racing team. Newly formed team, don't forget. And only Akid Azli has found troubles with that car. In 8th overall right now, 7th in class. Mark Darwin has put in some fast laps. Kifli Othman has matched him pretty much all the way up till the end. But I don't think Jonathan Z, as I said, last year picked up my own personal prestigious Most Valuable Driver Award. Well, I'm going to give it to him again for this race for a great 3rd spot that he's running in now after a great start as well. Remember, the speed of the City Fast Racing team meant it was going to be very difficult for the likes of Jonathan Z and William Ho. Well, Jonathan has just really battled his way into third spot here. Mark taking one of the bat markers, that's Hainur Adli. And this will be the final corner for Mark Darwin, who gets finally his MCS 2019 season underway with a good 15 points, which he's going to try and mirror with another 15 points tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's when the race is. Here he comes. The defending touring production champion gets his first points of the 2019 season. Mark Darwin comes out on top. Kifli Othman should be coming through right now. That's a 1-2 for the City Fast Racing team. Jonathan Z should be coming through to claim his third spot. That's a great achievement from Jonathan Z. Once again, last year we saw him making an effort a really good charge right at the end of the season. Now he's come in with a race one, round two, 10 points, and that's going to be good for him to build on. Abdul Qatir and Lai Wee Sing, after that tragedy of not winning last time, coming second, they had 2 seconds. Well, they finished in 4th. William Ho is in 5th. Leona Chin has finished in 2nd. By the looks of it, well, we're going to just have to check that, because we're now waiting to see where the second Proton R3 car is. It is currently 1 minute away from where it should be, and this would of course mean that Leona Chin wins, due to the fact that the one Proton R3 car has got a 30-second timeout and penalty, and that is of course Farouk Haruman and Shafiq Ali. And James Veerapan and Mitchell Chia in the second Proton R3 are now dropping down the order. They've yet to finish. They're 1.5 minutes overdue, which means Leona Chin should come through with a third win on the trot. If that happens, that would be by far the biggest story. Deserved, you'd have to say, because she really does get stuck into these fights and has kept that Tedco racing car in the fight for exactly this situation. But as for the 2 Proton R3s, well, we're going to have to ask some serious questions about a pair of cars that dominated qualifying and then have come out in the race, dominated the race, but then its reliability in the end doesn't look like that. Maybe it's the rain that has done it. There's now a very big question mark, and I don't just mean that in my head, I mean it on the racing computer as well, for James Veerapan and Mitchell Chia. And trust me when I tell you that if a computer doesn't know where you are, there's a pretty good chance something has gone wrong here. You can't really disappear from this track with your transponder in the car, so we have to wait and see what happened to that number 82 car. It has not finished. So, Farouk Haruman and Shafiq Ali have won MTC, yes. And Leona Chin is 30.779 seconds behind them. So I wonder, well, actually, she should be 26 seconds. So it should be that if the 30-second penalty is added to that Proton R3 team, my theory is that Leona Chin is going to win MTC by 4 seconds. But do check the website afterwards. Of course, we'll be finding out as soon as we can as well. But looking at some of the other classes, good win for Brendan Paul. He finally delivered on that after a troubled first weekend. SB2, Chongkyat Wai has finished ahead of Adi Rahimi Rashid and Alan Tam in third as well. So more points for Adi Rahimi. Remember, he started with 30 points off round one, so that's not too bad to come up with 12 points in race one. Set him up nicely for the 4 o'clock race tomorrow. And in SB2, well, yeah, that's right. So those are our winners. And only Akid Azli from the City Fast Racing team finishing outside of the top 4. So I wonder if there was a problem with that car. We'll have the full results coming up in just a second. Race control, we're going to be checking those as the cars make their way into the pits and the rain keeps falling. Let's have a look at the final results. Mark Darwin, Kifli Othman proving their worth to take the top 2 positions. Jonathan Z, another fantastic performance to get third. Abdul Qatir, Lai Wee Sing, William Ho and Rocky Xiao in 4th and 5th. Nasrisad Alif Hamdan, Taekian Bun and Darren Ong in 6th and 7th, and Akid Asli, the only member of the City Fast Racing team to finish down there in 8th. Possibly problems with his car, but he still managed to at least get it fixed up. Now, in SP production, there you go, great win for Brendan Paul. That gets his championship up and running. Great second place for Urata and Ida. They were double winners off round 1. Zuraimi also more points in 3rd. Wong Chun Wei, Marcus Song and Ong Gi-yong in 4th and 5th. Now this is the big one. Well, the final results for MTC. Now, it doesn't say there, but Farik, Ariman, Shafiq Ali with a good win, but then remember they're going to have 30 seconds added to their time. Leona Chin in 2nd for sure. Farid Sani and Ju Yong in 3rd. Benny Tai and Chok Ge Jun, great performance from them. They had a DNF in round 1. Hugo Chai, Mark Chun 5th. Wei Lung in 6th. Angeline Lee with a great 7th spot there. Noor Adli twins in 8th. James Virapan and Mitchell Chia finally in 9th. They were running in 2nd. Chin Hua Lip, the DNF there. Unfortunate for them because they picked up lots of points. And Ong Chi Yong and Shazuli Hisham both also DNFs as well. So very interesting results to come out of race 1. This is SP production. Adi Rahimi Rashid picking up another 12 points because of his 2nd to add to his 30. Chong Kiat Wai, they were looking for the win and they got it. So a big fight happening here. Tam Yum Ki in 3rd, Hafiz Bachok in 4th. 15-year-old Hayden Mohammed in 5th, Anul Husna in 6th, Larry On and Kenneth Lau in 7th, Rashid Ramlan and Johan Biantoro in 8th, Faisal Kimi and Shaful Nizam in 9th, and Mohanjit Singh, early retirement, in 10th. This is 5 laps in. Now, let's have a look back at what was another eventful race at the Malaysia Championship Series. But as I said, we've never seen conditions like this. We have to start with a great start on the right side from the SD Wangan Racing team, completely outpacing, getting on it right early. The 3 fastest cars in qualifying. Just behind them, you can see Jonathan Z weaving around to try and get the inside line. William Ho on the outside with a really good start as well. He cuts in. Brilliant start from the front 6, and that would prove very significant for them, but just a clean start from the entire field. Very soon, though, within the first 2 laps, those 3 City Fast Racing team cars did take the lead. This was big contact at turn 1 in for the R-Works team. And this was the reason we had a safety car that came out for at least 6 laps in the middle. A lot of oil put up there at turn 11. That would affect some cars later on. Round about this time, of course, we saw lightning in the sky and the rain started to come down as well. And that would prove a little bit of a problem for a few, but not a problem for this man here in the red car, Mark Darwin. Thank you, a very interesting line through turn 10 there. That's what happened on turn 11 to that Mercedes AMG. That is the 3rd time they've been off this season. We don't know if it's because of success ballast or not. This was a huge fight that happened between Hafiz Bachok and 15-year-old Mohammed Hayden. Some contact there. And this was the situation in MTC up till the last lap. And those Proton R3 cars were looking in very good stead. But my suspicion is that Leona Chin may have come through. If she finishes 2nd, it's because she finished more than 30 seconds behind Farik, Haruman and Shafiq Ali, because they have had a 30-second time penalty. This was the last lap, and a very welcome 15 points for Mark Darwin in his new team. First 15 points of the season, and his teammate Kifli Othman, just rounding the corner there, comes through for the 2nd spot. Just as the rain starts hitting heavily, as you can see there, we have all of our finishers. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll be back with more. Stay with us here on the official live stream for the Sepang International Circuit.
Hi, I'm Indra Dovizioso. I'm so happy to be back in Malaysia. See you at the race in Sepang in November.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang, 3rd of November.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang, 3 November.
Hi, I'm Johan Zarco. I'm so happy to be back in Malaysia, and I will see you in Sepang at the race on November 3rd, 2019.
Hi, I'm Paul Espargaró. I am so happy to be back in Malaysia. And I will see you at the race in Sepang this 3rd of November of 2019. See you there. Ciao, ciao.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for the MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang 3rd in November.
Run towards your dream. Because the moment you stop running, the moment you stop fighting, is the day you will lose it. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
Welcome back to the official live stream of the Sepang International Circuit. If you've just joined us, and you have just joined us at the wrong time, if you wanted to catch race 1 of round 2 of the Malaysia Championship Series, because that is over. It just happened just now. It was a really exciting race as well. And as you can see, the cars are now in Parc Fermé and heading, although that is actually scrutineering already, but the top cars will be the top of the winners for the top 3 in each of the 4 classes will be heading to scrutineering, and race control are going to have a good look at those cars. I personally am quite glad that all the cars are back in the paddock, as the weather conditions were really worsening quite rapidly out there. Looks right now that things have actually calmed down a little bit, but there was lightning and rain and a bit of oil on the track as well for the last 20 minutes of that race. But as for the evolving stories that have happened at the MCS, well, we've seen a lot of them happen here. One of them, I have to say, Brendan Paul getting his win is a big step up for him as well, because he just moved into this class, touring production, don't forget. That's a big win for him. Mark Darwin getting his first 15 points of the season as well after 2 unfortunate DNFs in round 1. That's great news for the championship. It's great news for him. Keithley getting more points. Jonathan Z getting his points on. That's the top 3 in touring production. More points coming to Masahiko Ida and Mohamed Zuraimi in Sport Production 1. Still unknown as to whether Leona Chin has finished second or first based on the race control penalty that was added to the eventual winner of MTC, which was Farid Karaman and Shafiq Ali in that Proton R3, which has literally dominated the weekend. So while we wait for the podium, once again, we've got a little bit of time just to remind you, get onto the website, www.sepangcircuit.com, and do check out the Malaysia World Finals. It's a double-header weekend, a combination of 2 wheels and 4 wheels. WTCR and EWC are the 2 big international championships that are coming down here, and they're going to be racing the first ever 8 hours of Sepang that is going to serve as a qualifying race for the well-established 8 hours of Suzuka. But that 8 hours of Sepang race is being added to the 2019-2020 EWC calendar, which is amazing stuff anyway. And still to come, we have, of course, 1st, 3rd of November, the MotoGP, Malaysian MotoGP, one of the most attended events in Malaysia, I can tell you that. Sold out every year, so if you do want to get your tickets early and you do want to see and up close and personal, or as close as you can get to these international MotoGP stars, get onto that website, www.sepangcircuit.com. Don't forget, there are paddock passes as well. It's not just sitting in the grandstands. You can actually get yourself down into the paddock to really get up close and personal. Or if you want to do the most personal thing ever, you could take your own car onto the Sepang racetrack. I haven't done it yet, but I've actually raced around this track in an F4 car, believe it or not. That was one of the scariest things that I've ever done as a commentator. But for that amount of money, you can get yourself onto this FIA Grade 1 circuit track. So it's one of those Instagram moments. It's really, well, obviously don't, be Instagramming when you're in the car. Get somebody else outside to take pictures of you when you're doing it. But really, once in a lifetime experiences up here, and all the facilities as well. That's a great time to learn about the go-kart circuit. That's a really nice go-kart circuit. And of course, all the driving motorsport school and packages that they have up here. Still waiting for the podium for Malaysia Championship Series race 1 of round 2. It should be coming in very, very soon. And also, while I've got the time, I can tell you about the next championship weekend, and that's going to be after fasting month. Should be in July, if I'm right. It's on July 17th. But do check the website again under events, and you can see exactly when everything is. I do know that round 4 is going to be in August, and round 5, the 300-kilometer combined race 1 and race 2, is going to be happening in September. That's just for MCS. Of course, we do have MSBK, the Superbike, Malaysia Superbike Championship. That's coming back in June, and that will have its own classes of Super Sport, Super Stock, Open 250, and just wonderful stuff. And I'll be in the commentary box, hopefully for that, with Ross Yusof. That'll be starting in June. And I think we have got a few more minutes to wait before the podium starts. As you see the cars being wheeled into Parc Fermé, and we just have a good opportunity to look back at that start again, a really close look at that start. There's that lightning start from Mercedes-AMG on the right. That's probably the best start I've seen this year, but looking back just behind them, Jonathan Z, if he just had a couple more inches, could have come straight down the middle and past Nasri Saad, who knows, maybe even attack those 3 City Fast Racing Team cars. They were all over the back of that Mercedes-AMG for about half a track before they did get in front, and we thought at this point that it was going to be a case of all 3 of them dominating the race as they did qualifying, but that didn't happen. This was a big hit at the start of the lap for Marcus Ong, and this was well, such a big retirement with fire. I think we're going to see some of that fire under the car as well. That led to a safety car for a good 8 or 9 laps. And during that 8 or 9 laps, the rain started coming down and things got very interesting on track. Mark Darwin, meanwhile, managed to pull off a 10-second lead eventually. And the SD Wangan Racing team, well, that was very well avoided by Jonathan Z. Now I'm looking at that replay again. Jonathan Z with lightning reactions to get round that car. And that was Vic Marchos and Mohamed Hayden. This was one of the Proton R3s that ran into troubles at the end of the race. In the end, Keith Leothman comes through in second spot. He was pretty much driving in isolation in the end because Mark Darwin was adding about a second a lap at the time. But this was a very important time for Mark Darwin's season. Defending champion for the touring production class. No points up to now. And needed to get 15 points today. And in honesty, needs to get another 15 points tomorrow. Because with only 5 rounds in the season, you want to get a very, very good start. Those were the highlights from race 1 of round 2. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we should have the podiums.
Hi, I'm Andrea Dovizioso. I'm so happy to be back in Malaysia. See you at the race in Sepang in November.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang, 3rd of November.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang, 3 November.
Hi, I'm Johan Zarco. I'm so happy to be back in Malaysia, and I will see you in Sepang at the race on November 3rd, 2019.
Hi, I'm Paul Espargaró. I am so happy to be back in Malaysia. And I will see you at the race in Sepang this 3rd of November of 2019. See you there. Ciao, ciao.
Hello Malaysia, are you ready for the MotoGP? I am. Jumpa di Sepang 3rd in November.
Run towards your dream. Because the moment you stop running, the moment you stop fighting, is the day you will lose it. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
Well, it looks now like we are ready for the podiums. They look very, very good under the lights here at Sepang. And there is Mark Darwin, one of the smiliest people, Mark Darwin. And it's great to see all of these drivers up on the podium because the MCS field, after they race together so closely, they're such great friends on and off the track. Mark's going to be very relieved, and he does look very relieved that he's got his first 15 points. And he had a lot of troubles and very early retirements at the end of race one, round one. So, touring production. There is Jonathan Z. Great drive from Jonathan Z. Great drive from PP Othman. There's a smile, and there is our defending touring production champion getting his first points of the year. And Jason Chow, the assistant sales manager, White Shine Marketing, with the awards. Yokohama, the official tire sponsor for Malaysia Championship Series, those Advan tires. And these great new trophies for this year. Mark Darwin with his first win of the 2019 season. That is our touring production winners from race one of round two. And we'll wait and see if they can replicate the feats tomorrow at 4 p.m.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with me is the winner for the touring production category for race one of round two, Mark Darwin. Mark, so how do you feel after tonight's performance?
I feel really proud for the team because the team have put in so much effort to make sure that I can finish a race because, you know, we have so much of disappointment weekend. So disappointed with few of the weekends. So the team have turned around and we managed to do well this round. And I think my teammate finished P2 as well. And my other teammate has struggled a little bit with the car, but I think it should be good for tomorrow.
All right. Congratulations to you. All right, back to you, Jivan.
Thanks a lot, Ash. Fantastic from Mark Darwin. That looks like the MTC podium, and right now it does look like it is a second spot for Leona Chin. So more points for her. And that would mean that Proton R3 team up on top. And that's Farid Sani and Ju Yong in third. Good finish from them. More points on offer for all three podium winners tomorrow. Let's see where they can finish up in MTC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're with the winners for the Malaysian touring car category. With me is car number 83, Farid Hairuman, and also Shafiq Ali from the Proton R3. So, gentlemen, all right, the Iris did magic tonight for both of you on the track. So how do you feel after winning the first race for round 2?
I made a start from pole position in the class. Not much issue on the start, being overtaken by 2 cars, and then I managed to pass back after 2 laps. And then after that, I just cruising and pass the car to my teammate after half an hour. Yeah, just after the safety car coming in.
Okey bang, adakah strategi bagi pasukan menjadi pada malam ini?
Yeah, with help with rain pouring just before finish the race, it's helped a lot with our strategy. That's actually what we wanted for the race. So thank God that I have a very good teammate and also a very good team that prepared the car. Even though we got no testing, but we still can finish the race in the top spots. Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Back to you, Jeevan.
Thanks a lot for that, Aush. And, well, it looks like it is confirmed that that Proton R3 team finishing, obviously, 30 seconds faster than the penalty that they did get from race control. So good win for them and a good second spot for Leona Chin as well. That's Brendan Paul. Recognize his figure on the top spot of the SB1 class. Great win for him after a trying first weekend. And we're going to be hearing from him right now from Aush.
All right, thank you, Jeevan. All right, with me at the podium is the winner for the SB1 category, driver number 91, Brendan Paul from the R Engineering team. Brendan, how do you feel compared to round 1 previously?
I feel much better. I was very confident with the car. The team did such a great job bringing the car back this round. So I hope tomorrow I can do the same. Yeah.
All right, congratulations to you, Brendan. All right, all the best for tomorrow. Back to you, Jeevan.
Thanks, Aush. That was a good, growing, evolving season for Brendan Paul. Don't forget, he did get pushed into a different class at the beginning of this this season, so great from him. And this is going to be the SB2 class, and that is our EMCS graduate, Adi Rahimi Rashid, in second spot. Another podium is how we have to look at this. Fantastic performance from him, 2 wins and a podium for him in second, but this time just ousted by Chong Kiat Wai and Takashi Oi. They're picking up the #1 trophy for Rios Racing. This means that this class is going to get very interesting after this, because that's almost reversed from the first weekend. Alan Tam and Lokai Fong picked up 3rd spot there. We should be hearing from Chong Kiat Wai and Takashi Oi as soon as they get off this podium. And I'm sure they're going to be saying that this is a great result simply because it does open up the championship. Let's just wait for the photo call. All the drivers kind of helped a little bit by the conditions, but let's hear now from Chong Kiat Wai and Takashi Oi, who'll be speaking to Aush.
All right, thank you, Jeevan. All right, with me is car number 289, winner for the SP2 category, Mr. Chong Kiat Wai and also Takashi Oi from Rios Racing. Gentlemen, so was it a match made in heaven?
Well, yes, always. I don't have any comment to say anyway.
All right, what about you, sir, Takashi? What do you feel about tonight's race?
今日の夜はレースはどうですか？暑くなくてよかった。Say not hot because not hot is very nice.
All right, are you looking forward for tomorrow's race?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, congratulations to you. All right, thank you so much. Now it's back to you, Jeevan.
Thanks, Lord Aush. Well, very tight-lipped there from Chong Kiat Wai and Takashi Oi. Will be interesting to see what they have to say tomorrow. And that brings us to an end of this first race 1 of round 2. Don't forget, race 2 is going to be ever so important for all of the things that you've seen today, and you can catch that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thanks to everybody involved and everybody here up at the Sepang International Circuit. You guys for watching as well. We'll catch you tomorrow. Don't miss all the other action happening. Early in the morning, TCSA kicks off the schedule at 8:20 a.m. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thanks for watching.